Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So it's getting close to that time where things are going to really get crazy. We have prophecy, end time prophecy that are coming in. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We have, like I've been talking about for years, we're going to see a lot of the big blue cities are going to turn into combat zones. They're pretty much like that right now. And look at Portland, Chicago, LA, they're pretty much there already. That spread is coming, and how quickly that spread remains to be seen. But it is moving in that direction because the deep state, the globalist, Khazarian mafia, you name the the mafia group. They're Jesuits. So there's so many, right? And they want to like conspire to control the world, I guess. I know. The enemy of my enemy is my friend or something. So they've all conspired to basically take down America and Europe. Europe's pretty much done. They're good there, but America is the holdout. So we're going to see a fairly significant pushback. President Trump over the last 8 years has really thwarted their plans. They probably have one last year that they can maybe turn this around. So there's going to be a massive push. The push is already now. I think President Trump is is basically being proactive by putting troops into cities. He's getting ahead of what's coming. That's a brilliant move. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think that was possible, but he is doing that. So that is probably going to, at some point, somehow, some way, going to mitigate the ultimate damage that's going to be happening. So in the end times, like we're going to talk about, there's a massive destruction. And is that going to be on a biblical scale? I think so, right? Is it going to be just consciousness? Consciousness is going to shift. I don't think so, because usually when there's a difference in consciousness, whether it collapses like it has for thousands of years, or whether it turns around and starts to go back up like it is, I believe now, you're going to have massive resistance. So the old way of control and manipulation, like we're seeing with the globalists, the deep state, the reptilians, whoever's Dracos, whoever's there trying to manipulate and control things, it's collapsing, and that's because of the consciousness shift, and that's because of the energies coming into the Earth from the center of the galaxy. Now, this 3-eye atlas that's coming is passing Mars, and we know Mars is the god of war, right? From Roman gods and goddesses. And it does seem to have some kind of effect, right? So when Mars is strong, seems to be wars and rumors of wars and conflicts and so forth. Now, 3-eye atlas is almost touching Mars as it goes by Mars, and as it's moving in space right now, it looks blue. So, like the blue Kachina of the Hopi prophecies, right? So, what does all this mean? How does all this loop together? I think we're seeing basically a massive shift in consciousness, and it will make an impact on humanity. Those that are ready for it will thrive and understand it. Those that aren't ready for it and resist will probably die, right? So, and that's just the way it's always been, right? And the ones that aren't looped in or tapped into the earth changes and so forth that are coming will be in the way of tsunamis, right? They'll be taken by tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanoes. It'll be massive. All right. So we can look back in time and we can see where these events have happened in time and so forth. All right. So let's look at purely what's happening on our level right now, where most people are looking. Because I know most of my audience is super advanced, but you want to know what's going on in the world right now. And so we cover that. We cover what's going on and we relate that to what to a bigger picture. Always looking at the bigger picture. We want the 50,000 foot view. I've never jumped out that high, but I don't think I've been in an aircraft that high. But I have jumped out at 25. I think maybe even 30,000. I might have jumped out at 30,000. And boy, the view up there is spectacular. And when you open your parachute up at that level, you move very rapidly. So that's how our consciousness is moving. It's moving very rapidly, but we still have to observe, what's going on. We can't get caught up in how, oh, it's so beautiful. And we have to realize that we need to be targeting where we're going to land, right? All right. So that's pretty much, what's happening right now. We're looking at everything from 30,000 foot view, and we're figuring out where we're going to land because we don't want to land over there because that's where the baddies are. All right. The baddies are very strong there in Chicago. We don't want to land there. Right. We know New York is next. We don't want to land there. Portland's dead. All right. It's already been taken over by the deep state. It's completely controlled. The only way that Portland will ever be anything other than what it is right now, if it's completely destroyed, right? So that's their intent. So they will hang on to Portland until it's completely gone. They will hang on to Chicago, I believe, until it's completely gone. They will hang on to New York City until it's completely gone. Mamdani coming in, so it's a railroad running at a brick wall, right? It's a railroad running at a brick wall. That's New York City, right? So let's look at a few things and let's work through this. There's some brilliant people out there. I like to refer to them. I watch them. I see what they say, and I gather insights from them. And I think that you guys will do the same by watching this.
Oh, Trevor, it's interesting you say that because one of the things that I've noticed happening is that there's a dramatic rise in the visibility of Muslims in the United States and in the West.
Okay, so I've talked about this a long time. The Muslims, as people of anywhere, people can be beautiful and people can be manipulated. And we've seen that manipulation with the deep state controlling and manipulating the radical left. And not just leftist Democrats, but also, some Republicans as well. So Rhino Republicans are radicalized as well. So it's not just one group, although Democrats are completely gone, right? That doesn't mean that if you're a Democrat, you're a lifelong Democrat. And yeah, you're looking at them and you're like, I don't believe in what they're doing right now. But in the past, they're mostly where my thoughts run. I believe in their agenda. I agree with some of the things Republicans do, but mostly I'm a Democrat. I understand that. You don't have to be a Democrat. You don't have to be a Republican or an independent or a Swaziki, all right? Whatever the hell you are, right? So in the political realm. So you can move within these realms. You don't have to be stuck anywhere. And I think a lot of people are seeing that. We will not see political parties in the future, guys. It is not going to happen. All right. After you listen to this video, you'll be like, yeah, the political parties are gone in the future. Right? It is not going to happen.
doing things that, in some ways are very provocative, like, that don't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Because when I look at this strategically, right, if you've had a kind of unrestricted warfare model where between the Marxists and the Islamists have infiltrated many parts of US society and the US government, they've infiltrated in Europe as well. And they've done it in a covert way, right? So they stand up and talk about equality and justice and representation for everybody and, anti-discrimination and diversity and all these things, right? So that's what
So Lara Logan has obviously been on the front lines of this. She was in Iraq in the early 2000s when I was in Iraq. Doing my thing. She was doing her thing as a reporter, right? So she has a deep insight. She was also at the uprising in Egypt, and she was assaulted by Muslim men during that time frame. So she, as you can probably tell, has deeper insights than most people. So I like to see people come in with a very educated, broad spectrum view, which you're going to see from both these people. And it's right along the lines of what I've been talking about for a long, long time.
Official narrative is, and that is one, which demonstrates covert tactics. So why have they shifted now to a very overt presence where suddenly you're seeing, Muslims in New York have plenty of mosques to pray at. So why do they need to pray in Times Square? Why do you have imams in Texas talking about, confiscating all kinds of goods from US stores that are considered haram or forbidden in Islam that are clearly not forbidden in the United States? And so that kind of video is going to inflame emotions, from a lot of people. I'm not going to say on the right, because the truth is, it's going to flame emotions in anyone who cares about their culture and doesn't want to see it replaced by a foreign civilization, which is very different to theirs. So what do you attribute this rise in visibility to?
Well, I think it's a rise in the violence of the left. We've seen assassinations from the left. We saw the attempted riots in Los Angeles, which was organized by pro-Chinese communists from the Freedom Road Socialist Organization, the same people that gave us the George Floyd riots. And thank goodness Trump set the National Guard into shut.
Yes, he said it out loud. The Chinese. So the Chinese are instigating all kinds of problems here in America. You have the Muslims instigating problems here in America. You have the cartels that are instigating problems here in America. You have the Democrat Party and their puppets in Antifa and BLM that are instigating problems here in America. There's a lot of people that are aligned to take down America. A lot of people would just give up. It's like, well, let them have it. No. We are winning against them. We are very close to taking them down. So you'll see that with the rest of this conversation.
Down, or that'd still be ongoing. Gavin Newsom wouldn't have stopped them. So the left are getting more radical, more out there, and so are the Islamics, and they're working together. Partly this is fostered by the war in the Middle East, Israel, Palestine, Hamas, etc. That got a lot of them fired up on both sides. But I believe the real key to this is that they understand that if they do not stop the Trump agenda real soon, they're going to lose so much. They're going to be pushed back for maybe decades. And so they're going to go kinetic on American soil, I think, over the next year.
What does that mean, go kinetic on American soil?
I mean assassinations. I mean terrorist attacks. I mean sabotage. All of this. This will be done. There's Chinese nationals here preparing to do this.
Now, this is what I've been explaining for over 4 years, close to 5 years, that this was in the making. And some of the groups, as time went on, we're starting to identify some of the groups that are going to be involved in this. And now the enemy is not at the gates, as it says here, enemy at the gates. The enemy is within the city, right? They've already gotten through the gates. That was the last administration. that open the gates and let them come in by the millions, right? So the enemy is within. That's much, much harder to take down the enemy within than it is to keep them from storming and, coming over the gates, right? So in some sense, if you look at in the past where armies would surround the city's walls and, storm it, and if they got over the walls, it was over. Constantinople is now Istanbul because the enemy stormed the walls and got over the walls, right? Or through the walls. There was a gate basically that someone didn't lock the gate, and the Muslims came through the gate actually in the wall. So this is what we're seeing now. The enemy is within on a massive scale, and they have set up. They're conspiring to like launch, and the launches are beginning as President Trump is doing preemptive movements into cities to clean up crime and take out illegal aliens. So there's this big push right now by the left, because how dare you go after illegal aliens? What part of illegal don't you understand? All right. So this radicalization of the left mindset, where the victims become basically the people that are the problem. In Portland, they arrested a couple of people that were there that were counter protesting. So the police, who are completely compromised now, obviously, and are in league with the Antifa, are arresting those people that are trying to bring attention to what the problem is. So this is what this gentleman and this lady, Lara Logan, is trying to do. Bring attention to unmask, as Trevor Loudon says, unmask the sinister alliance between all of these different groups. So just like Hitler told the Muslims that if you fight with me, we will give you land. And of course, Hitler didn't win. So they're kind of left to do whatever they could. Now, what do these people get in return for taking America? There's probably been something. You guys, you Antifa guys in Portland, you get Portland. You continue to run your drugs and your human trafficking, whatever you're making money at, and you have free reign. That's what the governor, that's what the mayor's giving them now. In Chicago, you have the same thing. You have the governor and the mayor that's giving the gangs in Chicago free reign. And if they win and the good guys, the white hats, lose, then they get to continue that on a grand scale. And then those people that are there that are good people are going to find out that those people that they thought were looking after them are actually there to take advantage of them. So this is what we're seeing in city after city after city with these governors and mayors who really need to be arrested. And that might be where we're moving. We may be moving in that direction, but when we see something like that, you'll see a big uprising. If you see a lot of consciously compromised people within that city, state, and so forth.
There's Hamas, there's Hezbollah. There are obviously huge numbers of radicals on the campuses and this sort of thing. And groups like CARE and all these other Islamic groups are amping up the pressure. I think Trump's election has accelerated what they were going to do anyway. But it's necessary now, because if they don't stop this agenda, their revolution could collapse. This is this is a last gasp. This is what they have to do. They aim to create so much chaos over the next year that the election becomes pretty much null and void, that the Democrats will pose as the peace party, all about reconciliation. They think, coupled with their customary cheating, they should be able to get a victory in the midterms and in 2028.
So, a desperate animal, when cornered, is going to really strike back. And that's what the deep state is right now. they're cornered. They're desperate. They're going to push back. They're going to have all their minions rise up. They're basically the useful idiots that they trained for, at least 8 years now on Trump alone. But they've trained them in their school systems and, their political realm and so forth. They've dumbed down a lot of people. And this is not just America, it's throughout the world, right? You look at all around the world, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, all throughout Europe, on and on and on and on and on. So you're going to see this massive pushback because people are going to start to push back. And then you're going to see these radicals rise up on a more aggressive manner as we're seeing them. Right. So a rat, I'll give you a great example. When we had the Hurricane Helene that went through and just, destroyed the lower, portion of the property we were living at the time. There was a rat that came into the house. It was a pretty good sized rat. He was running around the house. Right. So we're trying to get this rat out because the doors are blown open on the second floor from the hurricane winds and so forth. So this rat comes in the house and is having a field day, right? So we opened one door where the rat was, and we're like trying to get the rat to go out the door. And so he attacked one of us. And that was okay. And then we got a trap. He effed around and he found out, right? He was bye-bye. Bye-bye baddie rat, right? So that's what's going to happen to these rat bastards that are out there right now causing all these problems. They're going to get trapped. They're going to be in traps and they're going to die. A lot of them. Maybe some of them, maybe a lot of them will go into cells. Maybe some of them will say, I don't want to fight anymore and slip into the background. They haven't caused any big problems, so they can just do that. But this is what's coming. It's coming on a massive scale. Now, the little rats that are out there with the big rats directing them, if the big rats are taken down, that's what the Trump administration is doing now, going after the big rats, right? The little rats will scatter because they'll break down in tears. Most of them will break down in tears when they're arrested anyway. And, maybe they'll get a little jail time or something, and then they'll get a chance to come back into what's going to be an amazing society going forward. This time, it's a real mess out there, right? Some areas are great, right? Where I'm at, it's great. Right. There's no problems that I can see. There is on the other side of our lake where there's, drug problems and trafficking and all kind of crazy stuff. But on this side, everything seems to be at this point good. Right. That can change very quickly. But there's going to be a lot of places, and there are a lot of places in America that will see, even though they're nice now, we'll see some radical stuff happen. Right? It's going to happen. Probably everyone. I would be very surprised if everyone isn't affected on a fairly significant level going forward. Right? Or we'll know people, right? And or will be some way, shape, or form involved in the resistance to the deep state. Right? So we're finally getting down to the wire. I know a lot of you guys are like, let's go, let's get it. You've been saying that for years. I've been saying it for years. It is really, it's on right now. It's already on. It's on in Chicago. It's on in Portland. Now in Portland, even I guess a judge that President Trump actually appointed. That doesn't mean he's good, obviously. He is resisting federal like National Guard from coming into Portland. So he's put a stay on that at this point. President Trump is trying to put, I think, 300 National Guard into Chicago. So again, you're at some point, you're probably going to see some other action that's going to come. Some other action, right? So let's go into this. This was on my younger brother from another mother, Nino. He had SG on. Great guys, both great guys. They had a great discussion. Let's listen to a little piece of that.
Ideologue arena, but even more than that, and you mentioned the term social engineering. earlier. I like the term social conditioning because it's the exact same thing, but the conditioning is more longitudinal, and it has.
Now, this conditioning, guys, is MK Ultra on a grand scale. The leftists, the Democrats, and the rhinos, for the most part, have been social engineered. All right. Almost all of them got COVID shots. Almost all of them, like if someone wasn't wearing their mask or doing 6 feet distance, they got all, Nazi-ish and pushed back on people that were not doing what they're supposed to do. So they're the ones that have to be unconditioned consciously, right? They will resist because it's heavily ingrained, and it's also programmed into them to resist and not believe those people that are trying to wake them up.
Been a 35 to 40 year psychological operation that has come through U.S. mainstream media, both press and digital, when the digital airwaves finally came on, and of course cable television and satellite. And so what you have behind that psychological operation is a relatively insular group of people, so-called philanthropic interests out there in the world, that believe themselves to be quite literally the masters of the universe. And all of them align with the more globalistic agenda, which tends to be shown in the Democrat Party far more even than the neocon Republican Party. But I would submit that the neocon Republicans had quite a percentage, quite a proportion of that same overall influence, that same loyalty, if you will. And the point that you made just a second ago with the foot soldiers that are out on the ground and them being poorly researched and essentially unaware that they're being used as fiddles or cogs in the wheel, that is a result of that mass psychological operation over a period now of a generation and a half.
So a generation and a half have been massively compromised consciously, right? Educational systems, books, movies, political parties, social events that were actually paid for probably by these social engineering groups within the CIA and other groups. So it is reaching the pinnacle. These groups are rapidly going to they're going to see their demise, but they're going to resist, because it's just like any time in history where there's a change in consciousness throughout thousands of years, there's a resistance to the old. You can look at just the Industrial Revolution. When the Industrial Revolution came in, we're looking at world wars that happened for the Industrial Revolution, and then for the Information Age, World War II, basically, that was the Information Age coming in. So you went from agrarian to a industrial age, and we saw lots of wars during that time frame, civil wars, revolutions, and so forth. And then we saw the industrial age. We saw the industrial age move into the Information Age, and we've had wars that have, transitioned that. So World War II, that was the first computer. What your cell phone will do right now would be way more than what a room-sized computer did back in the day, right? So this rapid Information Age movement is also, there's a consciousness move that happens every one of these ages, and there's resistance. So wars usually happen during these movements in consciousness. So we're moving very quickly into a very, very high level of consciousness, and there will be those, like we're seeing from the deep state, that are going to try and stop that out, because they have everything to lose by people, and it doesn't take a lot, by a certain percentage of us that are raising our consciousness. The more that raise their consciousness, the harder it is for them to stop it, and they're going to do desperation moves now. We're in the final stages.
And you've got them whipped into a mental state and a series of mechanical neuronal response mechanisms inside the brain that force them into predetermined patterns of thought and conclusion. And that's the entire point of a psychological operation waged against any opponent. You want them to draw a different conclusion than the truth, what the actual conclusion is. And they are, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just pulling up for my audience. Here it is. Judge temporarily blocks National Guard deployment. So people are standing down. So Antifa is feeling empowered. This is dangerous. So this is going to have to lead to Trump signing the Insurrection Act, correct, SG?
It would not surprise me. I don't want to be hard and fast on that prediction, but it really would not surprise me. And, you know, with psychological operation and its effects on the population I was just talking about a moment ago, what is the most zealous army that exists? It is the one that does not even realize it is fighting. And so in this particular, sense, we have the entire...
So the zealots, the ones that are fighting for everything, every core of their existence, that's a radical left. That's these Antifa. They're the brown shirts of the Nazi Democrat Party. Hitler said that he looked up to the Democrat Party and said that they embodied what he would like to do for his own party.
Entirety of that foot soldier gaslit left, supported by things like the judge, like the mayor, like the governor, like all of these different so-called expert, so-called official pulpit areas, which we know from doing the research are simply bought and paid for, much like you would buy a watermelon at the store. And
Right.
So those pulpits supporting that psychological conditioning and that psychological operation, which extends now into law enforcement, judicial circles, certain areas of authority that cannot be allowed to act in rebellion against the government of the United States. And I keep using that term because people have to realize this is going to become a conversation about civil disobedience versus military unrest. And military does not have to mean a camouflaged fighting force with a bunch of lined soldiers and all of their different covers and caps. Militarized can be a terroristic organization, can be a gang, can be a constellation of actors acting in unison with one another. And we call that paramilitary, but that's the type of threat that exists with that. And that's where this is going to end up going. So your comment about the Insurrection Act of 1807, I think it would be highly appropriate before this process is over if it continues to escalate at the pace that it is, because it will demonstrate that civilian authorities are simply no longer capable of responding to the growing unrest, because in many dimensions and domains, they are assisting with that very unrest.
Well, look at this. She says ruling puts us on the right side of history. So this lady here, I don't know if this is the mayor who...
All right, this is the governor. So this is the governor, during President Trump saying he's going to put more troops into Portland. The governor, Kotek, right? So you look at Governor Kotek, and there is a feminine item that's called a Kotex, right? So you have Governor Kotek, who is a lesbian, walks through the city of Portland with perfect camera angles so they don't show the homeless and the dirt and the trash all throughout Portland. And they're just walking through, look, there's nothing wrong here. Everything is fine. So obviously lesbians are not very fond of alpha males, all right? Just like gay men aren't very fond of women. So that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the takedown of the alpha male so that they can control these cities and run their counter corporation and pretty much Portland has been gone for a long time, guys. Like I talk about, I was there over 40 years ago. Over 40 years ago. It's the most beautiful city in America, but there were little things, little cracks in the perfection, and that was a homeless population that was roaming the streets and sleeping on the grounds of a lot of the government buildings, right? So it is obviously metastasized to something that's very horrific, gangrenous, a limb that's falling off. That's what Portland is right now.
this is she, he, her, whatever. Ruling puts us on the right side of history, and will the fight, let's see what she says, and will the fight as far from Oregon, over Oregon remains united and ready to defend our values and rights today, tomorrow, and for as long as it takes. This.
All right, so there you go. There's a battle cry that's coming from a lot of these people. That's why I say they need to be taken down too. They are calling for war. They are calling for battle against goodness, to clean up their streets, which they're saying there's nothing wrong here, while the crime is through the roof and people are begging for police and real police. They're going to have to clean out the entire police force there in Portland. They're all completely corrupt. Maybe they have two or three people that are legit, or that are like laying low, but it's like the rest of Portland police force is completely corrupt and on the side of these leftist animals, right? So we're going to see, like I said, like I've been saying for years, we're going to see this thing escalate to the point where we're going to start to lose cities, right? So it is happening. Now here's more. I mean, we could do video after video. I know you guys don't need a lot of information. You're already on board with this, but let's solidify this.
Intelligence indicates that these people are organized. They're getting more and more people on their team as far as attacking officers, and they're making plans to ambush them and to kill them. We have specific officers and agents that have bounties that have been put out on their heads. It's been $2,000 to kidnap them, $10,000 to kill them. They've released their pictures. They've sent them between their networks, and it's an extremely dangerous.
So when I was in Iraq protecting Ambassador Bremer, there was a multi-million-dollar bounty on his head. All right, so it sounds the same thing. These radical Muslims wanted to take down Ambassador Bremer, and they wanted to maintain control. So now we're seeing the same thing happen in our cities. They're putting bounties now on people that are trying to bring law and order into the cities.
Situation and unprecedented. So we've put protective detail around those individuals, change some of our operations to keep our officers safe. But make no mistake, this isn't just about, protesting free speech, or that they don't like that people out here are upholding the law of our country. They're actually going out there and saying, kill these people and we'll give you this much money to do it.
All right. So bye-bye, baddies. We're going to set some rat traps for you.
American.
All right,
I
and
would
that's
hold
what
on
we're
to
going to
any
see.
little way that I had to.
We got to see that going forward in the future, right? Unfortunately, there's no way around that at this point. Now, let's look at Chicago. Chicago had a very tense week. The tensions building in Chicago is going to get a lot worse. Just like it's still bad in LA, but it's not as bad as if Trump hadn't, gone in. In LA right now, there would probably be hardly anything left. So I said the George Floyd riots were a practice run for this time. So all the violence, all the death, all the destruction, and the billions of dollars and dozens of people killed in fires and destruction, all kind of stuff during George Floyd riots, that's going to be nothing compared to what's coming, what's already going on, right? It's already happening. But fortunately, we have, President Trump is out in front. Protester clashes, tactical gear downtown. Now, I want you to hear what this leftist says.
Here we're in Brighton Park in Chicago on 39th and Kedzie. Was a shooting earlier, an ICE-involved shooting. We want to demand an investigation.
So an ICE-involved shooting. So they're only saying one side, and this is the way the left does this all the time. We know that the mainstream media lies and gets away with it. If someone lies, they should go to jail. Or maybe I should make a shirt where I say, you lie, you die. All right. You get a necktie. You want to lie where it really makes a difference and causes lives to be lost, you die. right? So this little clown boy right here is trying to spread disinformation. So ICE got boxed in by 10 cars, and a woman got out and started shooting with an automatic with a assault rifle, or a rifle. I'm not going to call it assault because it's like every rifle can be an assault rifle. It could be a hunting rifle. It could be whatever you want to make it. It could be a target shooting rifle. So just because it's a rifle doesn't make it an assault rifle. So anyway, she got out. She started shooting. They shot back. I guess they wounded her, and she went to the hospital. So this clown boy right here is saying that they shot and they want an investigation. Right? So this is the way it's going to be. It's going to be tough to get the truth out, guys, because we're going against a wall of disinformation from the lamestream, compromised, captured media.
They are escalating violence. They are escalating violence in the city. This is not making anyone safer.
So obviously, as we've seen, they've been very hands-off to a great extent. They have not gone, full on. The rules of engagement obviously are not in their favor because they're taking a lot of licks and these people are getting away with it. So it's reaching that point where it's getting ready to get explosive, right? So you're seeing bounties on ICE officers' heads. It'll happen for a lot of people going forward. Anyone that's talking about it, all right, I've had this on my head for a long time, been attacked so many times physically, through, social media, so forth. It is what we do. We continue to fight, right? Right. So but we win. Yeah. Truth always wins. God always wins. Lucifer, he gets his licks in, obviously, and he has fun sending his minions out, and he loves to watch them get destroyed. So that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Lucifer's minions get destroyed on a massive scale, right? All right, so let's listen to one more of these. Rudy Giuliani. He does a really good job of describing America's mayor. So he does a really good job of describing what is going on, what happened in Portland.
For a few people like poor Nick Sauter, who got himself arrested for doing nothing. And Rita, it sounds like a set-up arrest. I hate to say this, by the police department. So I'm not gonna say this authoritatively. I'm just gonna say it as a question, okay? There's a good question as to whether Antifa runs the police department of Portland.
All right, so obviously he can say it authoritatively because he took down the mafia. No one would touch the mafia in New York, and he took down the mafia, and he made New York safe and clean again. So that's what we want for each one of these cities. We have cartels, we have mafia, Democrat Party, right, and their hitmen, the Antifa and Black Lives Matter, men and women. So they have to be cleaned up. And then we got to clean up these schools, guys. These schools have radicals in those schools too.
Because Nick was there to cover it. Nick is one of the people who went undercover in Antifa, along with Andy No and our friend Cara Castronova. Met a couple of people went undercover in Antifa. I know about 10 others. They run Portland. But when I said organized crime runs a place, except for Al Capone, no one's ever run a police department. They set up the arrest of Nick. There's a very good piece of evidence that 3 people were on a list that Antifa wanted eliminated from the rally, so the rally would not be publicized. So Nick got punched around a little. He may have done a little himself to protect himself, but he committed no crime. There's complete footage of it. And this is an outrage, and I think the president now knows about it. Nick is one of his strongest supporters and just a great guy, but it's terrible there. I don't think this has changed since the pandemic. In other words, this has been 4 years of an American city that has seceded from the United States. They have their own form of government. They don't recognize our own.
Seeded from the United States. They have their own form of government. That's what I'm saying. Almost every city has a corporation that is not part of the United States, right? Not the United States of America, That is the deep state. That's a corporation. United States, period, right? So there's basically it's broken away. Portland is broken away. And there's virtually not enough strings attached to help it, to support it. It's basically going to be destroyed, in my opinion.
Laws that I'm not even sure they use our flag that much. And they've been attacking the ICE building for 100 straight days.
So you see the ICE building, it has a flag, all right?
Nick and a few others went there. A couple of them got beaten up really badly. We can't tolerate this. Now, if Curtis Sliwa wants to put out an ad, he should put this out and say, "This is where Mondami's taking it."
Right. You do not want this to come to New York.
That's our next step.
Right.
New York.
No, that's
Yeah, that's coming for New York. There's no question. Mamdani absolutely is taking New York in that direction. So probably within a year. Probably from this time frame, I think there's going to be a major kickoff. Probably this next week, we're going to see some things. We're going to see some serious movement next week. Maybe some serious disclosure. When that disclosure comes out, then that's going to cause these people to push back hard as well, because they can't have that. Just like Rudy was talking about. They had those guys, the police force, go after Nick Sorter and some of the other people that were basically reporting on the Antifa. They didn't want that. They didn't like that, because they like to be able to take charge and take control things without anybody realizing it. Knowledge is power. They don't want us to have that knowledge. They don't want us to have power, because once we get that knowledge, we will have the power over them, right? So they're going to continue to resist, and then we're going to move into now we're going to move into some other areas, because it's not just America. Or the next step. Now we've heard this, that America would be first as far as like destroying the deep state, and then America would move to help other places. Canada will be a place that will be helped. And it will take time, but it's moving in that direction. We could see as early as next year, Alberta become the 51st state, and maybe even Saskatchewan become the 52nd state. So this is Meg Moonbeam, does a really good job. Like her work, so listen to what she's got to say.
For those of you who may not be aware, this past week, there was a huge development in the Alberta independence movement. This is going to blow your mind. This post here is from the Rise of Alberta account, and I want to break down this post from October 2nd that they shared. This is absolutely freaking nuts, okay? High-level U.S. talks on Alberta independence held in Washington, D.C. Alberta's case for independence was presented to senior American officials, with one officially going directly into the Oval Office afterwards. Who was in the room? The Alberta delegation was led by Jeffrey Rath. The APP's leadership also includes Mitch Sylvester and Dennis Mondry. And on the U.S. side, names were not disclosed. One official reportedly left the meeting and went straight to the Oval Office. Canada is one of the most fucked up countries right now. We've got this absolutely crazy government that has been trying to take away our freedom of speech. They locked down the bank accounts of protesters exercising their right to freedom of protest during the Freedom Convoy. They want to put us on a digital ID. They are also loyal to the World Economic Forum. They want you to own nothing and be happy. There's a lot of crazy stuff, okay? I did whole separate videos about that in the past. Maybe I'll have to do other new videos about that, but a lot of freedoms are being taken away in Canada, and a lot of very negative things have been happening in Canada, the country has totally changed in the past 5 years in particular. So a lot of us are unhappy. And this option of Alberta independence is really exciting for Albertans, and I'm sure many other Canadians, as a possible pathway forward. Let's continue on with this very exciting Rise of Alberta update post. This is a part that really caught my attention, which I think is going to catch a lot of your attention as well. Financing Alberta's transition to an independent nation. Proposals included a $500 million U.S. transition loan to support separation costs and a 1-to-1 swap, converting Alberta's Canadian dollars into U.S. American dollars.
So it's already moving that direction. All right, they're already talking about it, already planning it, getting the funding ready for it. It's going down, guys. It's going to happen. 51st state, Alberta, Saskatchewan. I think they're right next to it. They're right next door. It's going to happen. 52nd state. Now we'll see this move to other places. I don't know if we're going to have states all over the world, but we'll see at some point, probably Australia, New Zealand. Now you've already seen President Trump push on South Africa, right? So we'll probably see something happen in South Africa as well. Greenland, that's been, something's been talked about all the way back to his last administration. So we're moving in the direction where, we're going to, change the world, save the world, right? Consciousness, raising consciousness. And that's going to be the thing that most of us are going to be looking for. Now, other things, more subtle, consciousness things that we can start to see going forward are like I've talked about. I haven't gone full on this because there's a lot more coming with the 3i Atlas. I've said in the past that I saw that it was a benevolent being craft, and that's the way it's been able to move. It's moved all the way from the center of the galaxy to our position now, where the most from center of the galaxy, where most of the energy is, of course, and it's come here. I think it's on a mission to help us through this transition period, right? So we're probably going to see some people that are going to be involved in this on different levels. I've seen the beings that are on board this craft interacting, not with everybody, definitely not with leftists or rhinos, not no way. But there will be particular forces, probably space, people that have been involved in space for a long time, and also in the water. There's bases underwater and in inner Earth and Space Force, all kind of crazy stuff. So I think they're going to be, I think they already are interacting with them. So all of those different communities, if you will, I think are soon going to be coming out and interacting with those of us on the surface. When the deep state gets taken down. So see how monumental this is for taking down the deep state. So this battle royale against the deep state, it's going to be tough, but we have to stay focused and we have to try and wake as many people up as fast as possible, because the people that are asleep, they're in the way, right? They're in the way and impeding the progress. So ideally, we wake more of them up. That's what's been going on for the last 4 years. They didn't do that on purpose. It was the way it worked out. You had the shadow government, like we talked about, the corporation, and then you had the constitutional part of the country, which was under President, Commander-in-Chief Trump, right?
We are also going through this. I feel it is an initiation and an activation from 3i Atlas, which more and more of the truth about it will be revealed. It's really interesting that supposedly 3i Atlas is showing up as blue, Okay, so this is a picture that I don't even know if this is a real picture or not. This is from All Day Astronomy on X. But I have seen different reportings that blue 3i Atlas is showing up as blue. And this makes me think, you guys, of that prophecy, the blue star Kachina prophecy, right? And this is something that comes from the Hopi astrologer right now, and bring up Chat GPT. And I'm going to ask, what is the spiritual significance of the blue star Kachina prophecy of the Hopi people? This is me and my Aquarian side. Let's see what this says. The blue star Kachina prophecy is one of the most well-known prophecies of the Hopi people. And you guys will see why I'm bringing this up in a moment and how it ties into 3i Atlas, a Native American tribe whose spiritual teachings are deeply rooted in maintaining harmony with the earth and the cosmos. The blue star Kachina prophecy is most commonly associated with Hopi elder White Feather of the Bear clan. At its core, the prophecy speaks of 9 signs that will precede the end of the current world, the 4th world, and the transition into the 5th world. The final sign involves the appearance of a celestial being or object called the blue star Kachina. Okay, let me know what you guys think in the comments, you guys.
All right, so she's on it. All right, good job, Meg. So it's moving in that direction, guys. Meg is a astrologer, and she takes that knowledge and she puts it into other aspects of life, kind of like me being a special forces SEAL and tier 1 guy and CIA, hunting terrorist with intuition and remote viewing and remote influencing. And then once they destroyed my life, when I started to disclose, we're going to talk about that in a minute. How they destroy people's lives that talk anything about these extraterrestrial beings are here to help us, right? So they came in, destroyed my life, and unfortunately, I was able to rebuild my life outside of their manipulations and destruction. So the way I did that was I took all the information, that I had learned in that environment, which they basically discredited me and they destroyed my life so that I could not get work in those environments anymore. That's what they do when you cross the line and talk about extraterrestrials. So, and I woke up, I started remembering I had my memories coming in of the secret space program. So they destroyed my life. And so I was able to rebuild it by doing what I'm doing right now. Right. So thank all of you that support me, have supported me over the years. It has made a difference. I've been able to not only survive, but thrive, right? I want everyone to thrive. I don't thrive like crazy, but definitely the last year or two, it's definitely things are slowing down, aren't they? So thriving for everyone, that's what we want. Although the deep state wants to destroy us. So they tried to destroy me. I was able to move around and, not commit suicide, not get killed by them. All the plans they had, helicopters flying over trying to shut my heart down, all kind of crazy shit. Kill teams out in the wilderness, didn't work, right? So it's crazy. I know a lot of people were like, "You're crazy," and I feel sometimes like, who's that one star that was in that movie where he's trying to escape the law. He goes into a mental institution. So he's in a mental institution. He's going around. All these people in there are crazy, but they're not really that crazy. They put them in there because they make money on it. And so they get on a bus. They're going on a trip, and, like they did to Bill Cooper. Absolutely. So they're going on a trip, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's the name of the film. So they're going on a trip, and the star of the show, I can't think of his name right now. He's the guy in the in The Shining. God, what's that actor's name? Some of you guys remember it. But anyway, they're on the bus, and there's like this one midget guy that's on there, and he's like real quiet, and he asks everybody, he's like, Jack Nicholson. That's right, David. Thanks. Jack Nicholson. Thanks, Nancy. So Jack Nicholson asked this Danny DeVito, I think it is. And Danny DeVito was like shy, but they're all of the people that were in the crazy institution, they're all just a little off, kind of like me. So he's asking them, he says, are you guys all crazy? And Danny DeVito goes, that's the greatest thing. So, when I'm out there in some of those places, I feel like Jack Nicholson. I was like, are you guys crazy? It's like when I was working with some of these people in the CIA, and I just wanted to go, are you guys crazy? Oh, you got those slit eyes. Oh, you're reptilian. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm not gonna piss you off anymore. Ask you questions. All right. So that's some of the stuff we're seeing right now. The deep state basically destroying everybody, trying to take a lot of us out. Nurse Ratched, yeah, she played a good part, didn't she? She was a baddie. She was definitely a deep stater, right? She was like a leftist, perfect left, deep stater. All right, so 3i Atlas. What's going to happen, guys? What's going to happen? What's the consciousness thing that's going to happen? So this is Lily Nova. I think she's on the right track, at least in this little clip I'm going to share with you.
Smaller ships I actually received. So this is new. I haven't shared with you guys. I shared it on Sala, but I got that some of these smaller ships that are surrounding 3i Atlas will actually be landing on Earth at starports. I heard the word starport. And then I heard cosmic clearance. So cosmic clearance that's above top secret. That's like the top clearance. And I felt that some of these beings, these galactic beings that will be landing at some of these starports are going to be meeting with allies, meeting with special forces, benevolent special forces here on Earth. And they're going to be unloading and gifting things to humanity is what I picked up on. Now, I asked which starport. They wouldn't give me exact locations, but I first saw a desert environment, and then I saw a lush green, like forest-like environment, and then I saw a water starport or base. It felt like it was in the Atlantic Ocean. And I asked, what do they gift?
So in the Southern Atlantic, deep in the Southern Atlantic, there's a base down there. I have memories of it. So these starports, all right, they can power in and out of these starports. There's people that are in the secret space program, so forth, and they're going to interact with them, I believe, and they're going to get information from them. Now she's got a lot of stuff that she's tapping into. I don't know how much of this stuff is going to come through, but I think they're going to try and do Operation Blue Beam type thing where they're going to fake alien invasion off this. So just got to use their discernment going forward. That's what we've heard is their ultimate last ditch thing that they're going to use, Operation Blue Beam, a fake alien invasion, right?
And I saw plants, seeds, medicines, technology. So something really
technology. All right. So she brings up a good point that a lot of us have been sharing for a long time. There is medbed. There is medbed technology out there right now that I believe perhaps some of this stuff has been channeled, like the LifeWave products that I've been promoting for you guys for a long time. It's definitely beneficial. So she talks about how President Trump just recently came out with something.
Interesting just happened. And Jean-Charles, I think I saw your name in the chat. Let me know if you are here right now, but you shared this. So I actually wanted to share my screen. So after I got this information, Donald Trump made a post on his Truth Social about med beds. And then he deleted it afterwards. So it was like a kind of like a hint. Now I'm not.
To synchronicity, confirmation. That's what I get. So Lily Nova is kind of confirming some of the things that that I've tapped into. Oh, that's very beautiful. That super chat. What is that? A Lily? What is that? Nancy, thank you. All right. So there's a lot of that that's coming through right now. A lot of people are starting to talk about different aspects of 3i Atlas. Of course, the deep state is trying to say, conspiracy theory, you guys are crazy. Like Jack Nicholson when he got on the bus. You guys are all crazy. It's like, yeah, we're crazy because we know this. We know this is true. It's not the norm because the norm is dumbed down and stupefied, right? So yeah, we're crazy in that regard, but not really in a bigger scheme of things. So yeah, Ben, yes, not normal. Yes, not normal. Yes, a double negative. Yes. So this, if you guys are going to watch anything going forward, you want to be, you want to know what's going on. You want to go to weaponized. All right. Jeremy Corbell, Dylan Borland uploads the truth about legacy UFO programs. You need to watch this. I know a lot of you guys are going to like this because you're not normal. So you're going to appreciate this. All right. All right. So let me give you a little taste.
Be a part of it before it comes out, because then this is going to be chaos.
Okay, but like what comes out? Like what are you talking about? You're talking about.
All right. Dylan Borland was in the United States Air Force and went through training to, pattern recognition, mapping, all that kind of stuff for drone program. So he's done a lot of drone strikes. He's done missions where he was flying drones over like special forces groups. He talked about Navy SEALs, and I'm sure he probably did for Army Special Forces, all the special forces. So we have drones that fly over us. We used to have Little Birds helicopters and aircraft with big bombs on them. Now I'm sure it's drones. Drones much easier. When I was in the CIA, when we were doing missions, we had drones over us as well. So he talks about that, and he talks about how, like me, he disclosed some kind of alien event, right? And that destroyed his life, right? Just like it destroyed my life. And so he talks about that within this show. So there's 2 parts. Excellent. It just got released. And here's what he says. This is very, very on point. Now, what's unfortunate is, like I told you guys, they tried to kill me and still try to kill me. They haven't been successful. I don't think they're going to be, I hope. So, but anyway, they haven't been successful, but they disrupt my life quite a bit in different ways, right? And sometimes I talk about that, but sometimes I don't, because I don't want them to know that they were close, right? So here he is talking about why they try and silence us and why they try and kill so many of us that bring this stuff up.
Disclosure about UAP, the reality of extraterrestrials, or
I'm talking about what Carl Nell would describe as catastrophic disclosure, where information that I and others have brought forward would be released and believed and known to be true by the general public in such a capacity that our government, as we understand it, would never recover.
You think people have committed suicide over this?
Oh, 100%.
Not a fake suicide that somebody else did to look like a suicide, or an actual suicide?
100%.
Because it make them so depressed and feel so alone.
Been there, done that, yep.
not.
So they tried to do that to him. He talks about that. Been there, done that. They gave him medication. He talks about how he woke up, like he described it as like you know how you wake up from a dream or something and you're like, okay, I need to go use the bathroom or whatever. And he said he woke up after medication that he gave him that he felt, I don't really need it, but you know, they're treating him as a PTSD guy. And he woke up and it was like, commit suicide. I never got any of that. I never got anything like that because I never would take any medication. You guys know I'm not a medication guy at all. Thank God. Right. So he was given medication. They were trying to do MK Ultra on him. You got to listen to the show. It's insane the way they tried to destroy his life. The Veterans Administration tried to destroy his life. His command tried to destroy his life. He was working for basically a breakaway organization within the military that was using him. And the CIA was involved and other groups. So he discloses a lot of stuff in here. But the main thing that he talks about is this free energy device that we should have now, that they have. They being the deep state, the Draco reptilians, whoever the frig is, running the show. All right. So they have the technology and they're restricting it from all of humanity. And if all of humanity found that out and they found out that the governments were conspiring to keep that from them, which they're going to soon, I believe, we're going to see stuff that will make all the revolutions throughout time look like child's play.
Not done that, but been there with and wanted to. Yeah.
Like you had something put in your head or medicine that made you feel that way.
Yeah. And then you go through and next thing you know, you're 30 some odd years old by yourself, completely alone. Everything you worked for gone. You have no retirement. You're driving a broken down car that's zip tied, picking up you in a park. And you're like, what is my life?
Let's talk about big picture.
So similar to what happened to my life when they came and destroyed me. So lost everything, millionaire at the time. And then they came in and destroyed my life. I had to disavow and break away from friends because I knew that they would be targeted. I tried to keep my family as safe as possible. It was tough. They were targeted. All right. All of us were targeted. So this is what happens. And the only real way to fight back, because you can't go through, you see all these guys are in Senate, and Congress and testimonies. They've been doing it for 20 years now. Nothing's happened, right? Because they're part of the control system. This right here, this medium that I'm sharing this information with you right now is the way we beat them. We share, we spread this information, we work together, we push back, and we take all of this down, and we get the results that we want.
What does it mean? What's this whole story mean? Because, we've been pretty far up the food chain with people who've been at it for a long time at high levels, high security clearances, worked in programs. They all have guesses, but I don't know a single one of them that knows for sure what it is.
I will give my opinion. This is my opinion, knowing what I know for a fact, reading and coming into contact with information that I believe to be true, looking at history and looking at through my perspective. I think what we are dealing with is very, very, very old. I think old humans have written those down in religious stories. I think that it's quite clear that we have been influenced by something else. I think Arrow has been telling the American public the truth, and you have said this on Weaponized on my behalf, which is Arrow's statement, there is no scientific evidence of extraterrestrials, is 100% technically true. You have to have a control to have scientific proof, and extraterrestrial is a very exact statement and word with an exact definition, an entity of another planet. These things, whatever they are probably what are referred to as gods or demons or angels or jinn, or insert whatever cultural or religious perspective you have. There are probably also extraterrestrials. It's not a one size fits all. And considering, you know, humanity has the same stories across many cultures: a flood, crafts that are in the sky, things that are coming and helping humans. And I'm at an advantage and a disadvantage knowing certain information that relates very clearly to things that are around the world that are related to what I know. I don't think that's by pure coincidence or luck. I think that the people that are in these programs know the truth to this stuff, and they are looking at it through a lens of, this is true, this is true, this is true. This has been here for 8,000 years. This has been here for 4,000 years. Oh, we dug up this at an archaeological dig in hypothetically Egypt. You know, I mentioned it to you guys last night, Lakatsky in his statement about his faith and what it means to be human and the impact and nothing to fear. You know, Lakatsky and I are both Catholics, but I want to be clear in that it's the idea of something greater than us that is here with us and can influence us. And Pasalka talks about this, and you get into consciousness, and all of these things are so correlated, and that's a problem with this subject. And that's why one of the things that I'm a huge proponent of, going back to having our government be a part of this, is you have to set a foundation. Because if you come out and you throw it all out there, people are going to laugh at you. They're going to call you crazy. They're going to do X, Y, and Z. Then you have to set a foundation. And I understand the UFO fanatics are not going to like this opinion, but this isn't for you. This is for the public. If you hopefully get enough people outside of this subject agitated, upset, and come and say, no, we're done with this. My big picture idea is it's been here for a very long time. It goes by many names. It's many different things. And it has an influence on all of us.
All right. So it does, like he says, the only way this is ever going to come out is if we demand it. The governments are going to continue to suppress it. They'll play like they're, oh, look at that little thing, little TikTok going across the sky. How about that? It's going super fast, and then it goes in the water. Oh, we've never seen that before. We've known that for like 20 years. Yeah, we've known that for 20 years, and you know, we just let these two guys talk about it, but we don't have anything else like that, right? So yeah, there's a lot of that stuff out there, guys, and you know, I've seen it. I've been there's a lot of things that happen to me, so I have memories of a lot of this stuff. I've talked about it. Other people that are in the secret space program that reveal talk about it. We activate each other's memories, and we talk. It's like, not like somebody says something and I use their information. I've disclosed stuff that no one else has talked about, but when I disclose it, it opens the door for other people. The fact that I have survived them trying to take me down, kill me, suppress me, and so forth, gives someone like Dylan the ability to come out and do the same and take it next level. And then someone else, now that Dylan's out, is going to come out and reveal next level. And then it'll continue, and it'll continue as long as we support it. As long as we support it. You don't support it, it's not going to be bye-bye baddies. It's going to be baddies take over on a more aggressive, more extreme measure, right? Bigfoot, of course there's Bigfoot. Yeah, there's all kind of stuff on Bigfoot. I've communicated with Bigfoot. Not seen one yet, but communicated with him on the other side of this lake, right? My son, God rest his soul, he used to communicate with him even better than I did. So there's a lot of us that have communicated with Bigfoot. A lot of us talk about seeing him. There's so many shows out there where people talk about Bigfoot, guys, and Dogman. There's a lot of stuff out there suppressed. There's a lot of stuff out there suppressed. Half dolphin, half dude. Yep. Been there, done that. I've done that. I've transformed like that. All right, guys. Lots of love. And, you know, staying in the love vibration and interacting, and, you know, you want this. Do you really want this? Or do you want to make fun of it? Right? You want to like get with your buds and like just crack dumbass jokes about it. Right? So that's what most people are going to do. That's unfortunate because they continue this problem, because this is the core of the problem. All right. That stuff happening in Chicago and, you know, LA and Portland and dozens and dozens of cities to come. That's to suppress this, the real stuff. Because if we get free energy, it's all over for the deep state guys. It's like, boom, done. Right. And then everybody's being like, what? You knew this and you kept this from us? Oh, you dirty dogs. Huh. They're going to go away forever. Right. Forever. All right. So, yeah, don't laugh, be observant, do your own research. If you do critical thinking, you're going to see it. It's like, duh, all the stuff, Bigfoot, Dogman, that's nothing. All right. If you don't know about that or understand that, you're way behind the power curve at this point. We have you know, extraterrestrial craft that are unbelievably advanced. So many more people talk about it. I have many people on my show. I've been on shows, all kinds of shows. So, and then there's some people just like, you know, just want to just be religious fanatics. So I don't know. I guess they're part of the consciously compromised too, right? Because there is no religions going forward either, guys. No, that's going to hurt a lot of you. All right, guys, lots of love. Stay in love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.